Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So in the overnight session, we were using 84 half to 86 half as support, and even though the market probed below that area, it didn't really spend too much time below it, and the rejection off that zone and the break above the 1890 high volume node resulted in a move up to the 1905 to 1906 resistance. At this point, heading into the open, we know that the overnight session has been quite bullish and the buyers are in control, but our short-term bias continues to be neutral to bullish simply because the other markets are at short-term inflection points or near short-term inflection points, and we still want to be flexible on our immediate bias. So heading into the open, we know that the buy side is dominant, and holding above 1899 to 1900 half would confirm the buyers in firm control, and it can lead to a continuation move up to the 1910 half to 11 half and 1913 to 15. So those are the primary upside objectives. And if there is enough volume and sustained momentum, then even 2075 to 22 quarter can be tested on the day time frame today. And then that's an area where we can get a better sell response. So 1913 to 15 is quite doable in the event of a continuation move, and 2075 to 22 quarter is where we can expect a more aggressive response on first test from the sell side. But we do have to see continued upside momentum and broad market strength in order for ES to hold above 1899 to 1900 half and put in that continuation move. So that's what we're going to be looking for off the open. Also keep an eye on the other markets. ES has been stronger in the short term, and it has been leading on the way up, but we also want to make sure that we are getting participation from NASDAQ and Russell, and that at least we're not seeing a failure in NASDAQ and Russell, because that could definitely put the brakes on this up move in the S&P as well. So heading into the open, the bias is bullish. We are going to be cautious on the short side, but with the understanding that we do need to see sustained upside momentum and participation from the other markets in order for this move to continue. And if we start seeing a stronger failure in the other markets, that's when we can consider a short setup, targeting a move back down into 89.5 to 92. But as far as the bias and control goes, if ES is holding above 89.5 to 92, and worst case scenario 83 quarter to 85.75, there's still potential for the buyers to maintain control. So ideally, you want to see ES holding above 1899 to 1900 half, but after that, 89 half to 92 is still a spot where buyers can be active, and the short-term bias can remain bullish as long as we're holding above 89 half to 92 and we're not getting an all-out failure in the other markets. That is just a normal pullback and consolidation. But if you start breaking below 89 half, that's a big warning sign for buyers, and that can lead to a complete failure and even a reversal on the way down. A break below 83 quarter to 85.75 would confirm the control shifting from the buy side to the sell side, and from there we can go back down and test 70 quarter to 72.75 and 65 to 67. Now, those are still spots where responsive buyers can be active on first test simply based on short-term exhaustion into good support, but the whole market structure and bias at that point would have shifted to the sell side. But right now, at the moment, heading into the open, the bias is bullish. The way the market is set up right now, as long as we're not getting a failure in the other markets, ES is setting up for a test of 13 to 15 and possibly 2075 to 22 quarter. So as the market balances, and in the event that it breaks out for a continuation move, you want to be cautious on fading that move. Right now, this is setting up to be a very trend type move, so you don't want to step in front of it at a minor resistance zone. So 10 half to 11 half, I mean, that's a spot where we could get a little bit of profit taking, but the next major zone is really 13 to 15 and 2075 to 22 quarter. And even at the 13 to 15, we have to kind of assess the market in real time, look at the other markets, see if they're hitting some better resistance, and then decide whether it's worthwhile and if there's enough reward to risk to consider a short at 13 to 15. And if there isn't, then that area is better served as a profit target. The 2075 to 22 quarter is an area where we could get a short setup on the day time frame and get 2 to 3R out of it. So right now the focus is going to be more on the long side, but with the understanding that we are already trading at elevated prices, so we need to see that momentum sustain, because at this point, the market is bullish, but we need to have continued buying in order to go higher. So the bias heading into the open is bullish, and it's going to remain firmly bullish as long as ES is holding 1899 to 1900 half. The anticipated move is a move up to 1913 to 15 with potential to test 2075 to 22 quarter. On the downside, 89 half to 92 is going to be the key support. And if that breaks, then we need to adjust our bias because at that point the control could start shifting to the sell side and then the bull bear zone. If that doesn't hold, then you can get short-term liquidation. So those are the main ideas heading into the open. Let's see if the buyers can hold ES above the pre-market support zone. That'll help set the tone for the morning, and we'll take it from there.